Hey guys, I got a lot of requests last night to talk through exactly how my rig works. So I kind of ghetto set it up real quick. Hopefully you can see most of the pedal board. What I'm doing is I'm running into the tone press, my compressor clean signal basically, into the micropog, and I'm splitting out the micropog. The wet signal is going through the mini buffer to the volume pedal, to the DL4, Big Sky, stereo volume pedal out to both channels on the Risen Legacy, and then the dry output on the micropog is going through the Honeybee, Pearl, Booster, other side volume pedal, LCAT, Diamond, Blue Sky to the 65 amps London. The cool thing about these stereo volume pedals is it lets you kind of pan between the two settings. So basically what I did this morning was I ran a pseudo keyboard sound through direct, basically. I just ran it direct to the front of the house, though tonight it's set up going to the amp. Sound good either way, I guess. But this is just the direct keyboard signal here. Lots of fun, patty, swimmy goodness. And then the direct signal is going to 65s, and that's this one. It's got that galloping kind of delay going on the LCAP. But basically just have a slight reverb off the Blue Sky. And it's got a nice little room kind of sound to it. All my distortions are only going to the London. They're not going to the Risen at all. So I can keep a clean sound going to the Risen. I can also control the level of that pad. And I can keep all my distortions in the 65. So if I'm running just a light overdrive kind of sound, I still get the clean signal through the wet rig over here. Which is really cool for like doing lead lines, something like we did All Because Jesus is More Later. And it's still going over there. It just creates this huge spread. Also, I can get wet on this rig as well if I'm doing some more like ambient style stuff. Kill that, and just get like that real wet. But I can tone so that the chime is all coming out of the London and the swash is all coming out of the Risen. Now with the various settings on between the Big Sky and the DL4, this is set to more longer, crazier swash. And it'll literally keep going really as long as I have the pedal on. You can kill it, it'll slowly trail out, or you can drive the volume back here. On this one you can pan, so then I'm only feeding the London. And then this is still that original pad I had going. And you kill that obviously. So I also have the micropog set up to only feed the one channel, which gives you some really cool textures on those organy sounds. I don't really use them typically because they tend to dominate the signal, but for something like this it sounds really good because you can have all the octave craziness over there. On this side or something like all tucked on one side. And again, with the preset, you can have a couple different feels on it. So that's essentially what I do on the main with the split signal. My main rig, I have the ability to get as wet as I do really with the two. And this is just the London here. So I can, you know, still do all those little like this crazy swashy stuff. I can do like the cool oscillator. Churn up, but then I can also kind of do all those little crazy lead lines. Or you can bring in the wet too with it. Creates just a huge soundscape. For the cleaner stuff in that vein, it also fills out the back end really nice too. The little like and it kind of carries that whole underpart. So it's a little complex, but it lets you, the amp technician or the sound guy, boost one amp over the other, tuck an amp if it gets in the way. It lets you as the guitarist boost your solo into one amp or boost your overdrive into one amp and not get it cluttered up with too much reverb or delay. And then the sound guy can boost that for a solo without raising the mud of all the delay and reverb that people tend to use. When I'm playing with just one amp setup, I try to keep everything tucked back a good bit, even on my like pad settings, just to so it's underneath everything, so you can still kind of get the same idea. But then this way, I can get crazy wet at the same time without losing any of the clarity out of the main amp. Just more options, you know, it's all overkill, really. All you really need to do is plug in your amp, but having the options lets you create space and create atmospheres, and you know, we had a scaled back band this morning, and it sounded huge. I mean, we had a 4-piece, really, and it was incredible. So, if you get creative with some of your routing and creative with some of your effects, you can have a really good time, especially running stereo or 3-way or wet, dry, wet, or whatever you want to do.